Whether you operate one forklift or thousands, one location or hundreds, the new My Toyota customer portal can help you optimize your operation and material handling equipment. This one-stop, free-to-use platform is designed to help you take control of your information and make smarter decisions, all at the touch of a button. Register and access your data today at my.toyotaforklift.com. That's my.toyotaforklift.com.
Today's warehouse needs to keep inventory moving smoothly and quickly. Meet these challenges with on-demand warehouse labeling from Brother Mobile Solutions. Our mobile and industrial printers will help optimize your operations to achieve the speed, reliability, and durability your warehouse needs. With easy integration for existing warehouse technology, convenient portability, and upfront affordability, Brother Mobile Solutions is at your side when it comes to warehouse labeling. Try one for free today by visiting brothermobilesolutions.com/new warehouse or click the link in the show notes. That's brothermobilesolutions.com/new warehouse to try one for free today.
The New Warehouse Podcast, hosted by Kevin Lawton, is your source for insights and ideas from the distribution, transportation, and logistics industry. A new episode every Monday morning brings you the latest from industry experts and thought leaders. And now, here's Kevin.
Hey, it's Kevin Lawn with the New Warehouse Podcast here at ProMat 2023. I'm joined in the booth by Dan Gilmore and Mark Fralick of Softeon. We've had Softeon on the show previously talking about their WMS, but we're going to talk today about the smart warehouse of the future. So welcome to the booth, guys. Welcome to ProMat Day 1 here. How are you doing so far?
Great, Kevin. Thanks for having us today.
Definitely happy to have you guys both on here. So give us like a quick little brief overview of Softeon and what it is you guys do.
Sure. Well, we're a supply chain software company focused on supply chain execution. That would include things like warehouse management and newer warehouse execution systems and what we call distributed order management. But they have a whole suite of products, things like labor management, yard management, and slotting optimization, things like that. And also now offering some breakthrough approaches to materials handling systems integration.
All right, great, and that was definitely quick. I would say you rapid fired that. That was good. So obviously, we're here at ProMat, and one of the big things I think is very apparent. Obviously, is robotics everywhere. But at the core of what we do, software is needed and it's critical for the warehousing. And the more components that we continue to add into our process flows and everything, it is really important to be able to continue to grow and make sure that everything can work together. So tell us a little bit about, from Softeon's perspective, the smart warehouse of the future, and what does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to summarize it up this, Dan. The WMS industry has, at one level, remained fairly stagnant in terms of capabilities over the last 20 years or so. It's really been mostly incremental progress. But that's starting to change, and I think you're going to see some very profound transformation of warehouse operations to be more smart, to be more automated, and that's going to happen over the next 2 to 5 years. So, you do have to start with the basics. So the kind of core WMS, the basics of receiving, put away, picking, replenishment, packing, shipping, etc. You got to be good at those things, and use advanced techniques like task management and task interleaving and other kinds of more advanced features. You have to have the core foundation in place to really get to the smart warehouse. But you can get beyond the basics that we've had for 20 years. So with WES, it offers an opportunity for a new set of smarts, and Gartner, in their diagram of the smart warehouse of the future, has right outside of WMS in their drawing has WES, and WES does a lot of different things, but it provides a new level of optimization and orchestration of order fulfillment that you just can't get from a traditional WMS. And one of the key things that really is happening here is that you can automatically release work based on a wide variety of attributes, things like order priority, things like human resource and inventory availability, things like optimization opportunities, things like carrier cutoff times. And so the work can just automatically flow to the floor without a need for a wave planner, without the need for expediters looking around for how do I get the inventory into the replenishment slots, without any of those things. As Gartner calls it, the autonomous warehouse. And that's really what makes it the smart part, part of the warehouse. But also we're seeing the trend, obviously, of significant growth and interest in materials handling. So all you have to do is look at this show, the size of and the interest, all the robotic vendors, but it's more than just mobile robots. And so the need, and you kind of hit on this, Kevin, the need to tie all that together, what we think about as an any-to-any integration, any system to any system. We've developed some technology to make that happen, and Mark's going to talk about in just a second here, that really is going to make it a lot easier, faster, more agile integration of these technologies and be able to do so flexibly over time. And so the integration stuff is a subset of the smart warehouse, but it's an increasingly important part of the smart warehouse, and we think we're going to see some step change advances from what we've had in the past.
Step, step, step. Do you know how many steps your warehouse workers are taking a day? When your workers are walking, you're losing money. Endless trips to the printer or computer add up fast. Newcastle's mobile industrial carts with integrated power eliminate the walking to stationary printers and computers, keeping workers focused on high-value tasks, often doubling their output. Thousands of powered cart installations, including ones at the new warehouse's own micro-fulfillment center and in my previous jobs, prove that Newcastle customers get more done and save money. To learn more, head to newcastlesys.com. That's newcastlesys.com. Very interesting, yeah, and I think it's a great thing that you point out there, and having this additional smarts, as you said, right, and being able to expand upon that, especially as we add so many different things in there, is really critical to making sure that we're able to add these things in, and then also make sure that everything's coordinating together. So you wanted to add something, Mark?
Yeah, I think that, as you said, just by looking around, you see all this new technology, and fundamentally, this is all technology that wants to get to the floor. It's technology that wants to be on the floor. The vendors want it, the customers want it, and what we're trying to do right now is sort of remove the impedance, the historical impedance to get that done, because we're talking different systems and talking different ways, and one robot vendor talks this way, one GTP, goods to person system talks this way. They have to all work together. And so our approach is to create sort of this dynamic data racetrack where, everybody can be, sending data in, because you don't know who needs it, right? It's sort of like a little radio station of data, right? So, it's a publish and subscribe sort of model where you can have an infinite number of subscribers, and some of those can be interfaces, some of those can be sending information out to AI systems that are helping coordinate. So it's not just the robots, it's and the hardware, it's the things that are necessary to optimize those, as you pointed out. That could be an AI system or just analytics. But fundamentally, I think the big thing is that there's tech that wants to get to the floor, and that tech sometimes is frustrated by the fact that there's these gates in the way, right? And so it's frustrating for me as somebody that's saying, hey, it shouldn't be that hard to get it to the floor, and it isn't, it shouldn't be, right? And so what we're doing is creating a much more open way to do that and saying, look, we don't care who you are, where you came from, how you speak, different taxonomies, different, delivery mechanisms. We have, it's basically like switching from the old manual toll gates that used to, person would be there to these automated, our inline transformation engines, like a 90 mile an hour high speed, tollway, right? Instead of those old fashioned toll gates, you got this going this way, you got this going this way. And so it really opens it up, right? Because that technology wants to get to the floor, and somebody's going to get it there. It might as well be us helping the customer get it there.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a great thing, because I think that, like you said, I mean, there's so many different solutions going on and all these different things. And, it's not like you're going to go to one company for automation and you're going to have all these different things, right?
Yeah, like, people look at AutoStore, which is a wonderful device. That's a little Minnie Mouse sort of thing that's doing stuff. But at the end of that, totes come out, and either they're typically going to go on a conveyor someplace. So that AutoStore is talking to like a WCS, which is controlling the conveyor system. So now you have two systems involved, right? And so now it does not, and then maybe a robot's picking up at the end of the divert spot, so now you got three systems involved. And the big thing is creating the flow, right? To say, the order got complete. Everybody can see that. Now you can do lane selection, pass that to the WCS. Now you can do a pickup from the. So if you get a racetrack of data that everybody can start to see everything, right? They can get in get in there and start to see the fact that, hey, I need to get a robot over there because in 30 seconds that divert confirm is going to hit and there's going to be a box sitting there that I need to pick up. So that's really the, again, we're just trying to reduce the impedance because that tech does want to get to the floor. It does want to be more efficient.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, as humans, be the, in different like silos of systems, be the guys that are stopping it, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, you definitely don't want to, bring robots in to help you, be more efficient, and then you be the reason why you're not being.
Yeah, you're at a toll gate. You're at a toll gate with 50 cars back of you, right? You don't want that part. You want that high-speed throughput of like a modern tollway, right?
If I could just add one quick, comment.
Sure, Dan.
I mean, the lack of that kind of capability is what is slowing down the ROI attainment of many of these systems. So it's taken too long to get them up to speed. It's taken too long to get the flow the way that it needs to be to drive the ROI. And so this isn't just a technical matter about how do I talk to these things. It's about how do I get ROI for my investment,
right,
and how do I get to that time to value more quickly. So that's the one of the business problems that's really being solved here to make it so that the ramp up is much more rapid and much more robust and much more agile, to add new types of equipment and get up to speed with those as well. So that's really a key difference here.
Yeah, like for instance, for us it would be, defining a little configuration file, dropping it in a folder, and now you're talking to a new robot, right? It should be that easy, right? Because you shouldn't have all this, effort, we have to do this interface, blah, blah, blah. That's the easy. Interfaces are now the easy part of it, right? It's the coordination that's the harder part. Right. And to Dan's point, it's time to steadiness, right? And it's how much time does it get to the point where you can handle, Black Friday, right? So those are the things that you measure, right? Because most of this automation is about scalability, right? And so you want it to be able to scale. You want it to, Dan's point, get up to that point fast. And again, my frustration is that all this tech wants to get into the field. Let's help it get there, right? As opposed to being the impedance. We're not the old-fashioned toll gates anymore, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, and it's great that you guys are trying to break that toll down, I guess, right? And,
exactly.
I mean, so obviously people are coming here and coming ProMat, and I think probably a ton of people are probably coming in and seeing like how do we get into automation. So what would you give them on the advice of the system side to make sure that they're also considering as well?
Yeah, I think that the key thing about all of this, like whether you start with just a RF-based, a mobile-based warehouse or anything, it's all about the flow, right? Because if you look at any warehouse system, a good warehouse system does not look like it's working hard, right? It looks like it looks like a duck, in water. Underneath it's paddling going like crazy, right? But on top, it's smooth as silk, right? And so that's got to be the case with any automation you add. It can't just be an adjunct, and then you're gonna, like you said, get to a toll booth and you got all these packages backed up. And so it has to be in the overall flow of what you want to achieve, right? And that's really what happens. Is some people come in, they tack on this and they tack on this, and then they end up with a system that looks like it's been all tacked together. Right. So think about the flow. Make sure you're attacking the ROI from top down, right? Because it's easy to blur your ROI and say, oh, it'd be nice to do this, and then we could do this. No, look, hey, what's your ROI for getting these bots in or getting this thing in? Right. Attack that, optimize that, then look for alternatives to expand your ROI footprint.
All right, great information there and great advice. And thank you guys so much for coming by the booth and talking to us about Softeon. If people want to find out more information about Softeon, how can they do that?
Softeon.com, Softeon.com, and you'll find a lot of information about how we can help you out.
All right, thank you, Dan, and thank you, Mark, for coming by and giving us this great information and also this great advice, too, as I'm sure people are out here shopping, right? So very good information, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
You've been listening to the New Warehouse Podcast with Kevin Lawton. Subscribe and check us out online at thenewwarehouse.com.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want more content from the New Warehouse, check out our new video series called All Hands on LinkedIn. Just search for the New Warehouse on LinkedIn and follow along.